A little over a week ago, Toei Animation announced that a new Kitaro project was in the works, which sparked off a lot of speculation within the anime community that Super might be going on hiatus. We'll get to that in a second, but I posted a few tweets about this, which really took off, and despite saying this is 1,000,000% speculation and specifically asking people not to make videos on it, well, the internet being the internet, a lot of people ran with it, made videos about it, and presented it without all of the details that led to the speculation in the first place. As a result, I feel obligated to make this video, one that I really didn't want to make, just to primarily make it fundamentally clear that this isn't confirmed whatsoever, but also to make sure that everyone understands the factors that led to me speculating in the first place. This wasn't totally pulled out of thin air, there is actually some logic to this, even if it isn't necessarily the most concrete thing ever. So let's start right at the very beginning. Kitaro is a franchise from the 60s that first got an anime from Toei Animation in the early 70s. It has pretty much had a new series every decade since its debut. This new announcement is celebrating 50 years since the original series aired. As it stands, we have no indication of what exactly this project is. It could be a movie, it could be a TV special, it could be a web series, but if it's a new anime series, then it opens up the question of where exactly would this air on Japanese TV, and that's where this speculation starts. While Kitaro has had many different spin-off series over the years, this particular anniversary project is celebrating the original run, as I said, which has always aired in one time slot. Initially, it was Wednesday late afternoons, the exact spot that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z used to air in. When it came back in 2007, it aired in the same slot that had now been moved to Sunday mornings, just as Dragon Ball now has with Super. Although, again, we have no idea if this is actually a TV series, that is Kitaro's slot, and it really doesn't have anywhere else to air on Japanese TV. Monster Hunter at 8:30 AM isn't going anywhere, and of course neither is One Piece at 9:30. Even if Monster Hunter were going off the air, Toei Animation aren't going to let it compete with a titan like Precure that airs at the same time on another channel. That is a great way to divide your viewers and harm both series at once. That's very, very unlikely. You may remember Dragon Ball Super's TV special getting very poor ratings as a result of Toei's Super Sentai series being moved into the same slot on another channel, but that's a Toei company decision and not a Toei Animation decision. They're two separate entities. Realistically, there's very little chance of Toei Animation ever letting two of their own shows compete with one another. While Kitaro did recently have a crossover with Yokai Watch, a show that airs on TV Tokyo, it's highly unlikely that Fuji TV would be willing to let Kitaro go from their network. The reason being that Fuji TV has been Kitaro's home since the very beginning, and they've pretty much always been involved with the anime's production committee, if not on it themselves. 9:30 is One Piece's slot, and 10 AM onwards is the end of Fuji's children's programming. They obviously can't show cartoons all day, so them opening up a new time slot would be very unusual. Like I said, if this Kitaro project is a TV anime, there's just nowhere else for it to go. It's not going to be a late night anime, that's for sure. It's a children's show. Moving on then, let's consider what we know about Dragon Ball Super at this point. Per Kimitoshi Chioka's statement, he's Super's old series director, and the fact that the Blu-ray release dates of 4 arcs are announced all at once, this current universe survival arc ends in March. If you're not aware, Super has always been a core-based show. Cores refer to Japanese TV seasons, essentially. They're 3-month periods that usually consist of about 11 to 14 or so episodes. You have 1 core shows, 2 core shows, 3 core shows, etc, etc. They start in winter, January to March, spring, April to June, summer, July to September, and autumn, October to December. So Super's looking to wrap up this arc at the end of the winter core. If any new anime is starting, they'll begin in April. That's the natural point for anything new to pop up in, and that's where people are speculating that Super will be taken off the air temporarily, while Kitaro will take its place. That probably sounds totally mental, but let's take an even closer look at what we know about Super right now. The last Blu-ray set announced has 1 fewer episodes than any of the others. Discrepancies like these are typically found when a show is coming to an end. I'm sure anyone who's ever picked up a DVD set of any show ever has found that the last disc of the set has only a few episodes on and the rest of it's padded out with special features. Toyotaro also mentioned that he'd be ahead of the anime down the line, and at the current pacing, there's no way that's going to happen unless Super takes a break or has months upon months of filler material. There could be a million reasons for this stuff. Maybe the Blu-ray listing is wrong. After all, it used to say it had more episodes than normal. Maybe Toyotaro spoke before plans were changed. Who knows? Again, this was intended to be offhand speculation and not something people were meant to run with. With that said, I think it's important to address a few factors that make this a commercially viable move. Super's one of the most profitable anime in existence right now, so it vanishing temporarily has to make some sort of sense. Whenever animators speak about their work on Super, one recurring thing that pops up time and time again is the schedule. Yuya Takahashi's spoken about the time he has being half of what's normal. Naotoshi Shida recently said that Super's tough schedule is the big difference between working on it and Z. Chi Young-seo has spoken about it time and time again too. It's this constant looming issue over Super's head that's really difficult to escape. With a new movie on the horizon, trying to keep a series like that afloat is going to be especially difficult. It'd be a very smart move to put the series on hiatus until January 2019, the start of the winter core. With adequate planning, they could begin working on this Super 2.0 several months in advance of its theoretical debut. We know this movie has begun production far earlier than the previous two movies, so it's perfectly possible for this to happen, particularly if they rely on a lot of freelancers and non-series specific animators, just like they did with Battle of Gods, for example. Bringing the series back with an improved or ideally fixed production would do wonders for not only the series' reputation, but also their costs. Remember that they're often paying double the staff and a whole bunch of external studios just to get episodes finished on time. Despite saving on costs there, taking Super off the air isn't going to halt revenue streams immediately. New figures and other merchandise from the Universe Survival Arc will continue to release throughout the year, not to mention that Super is an international phenomenon that's currently airing all over the planet. With the new movie's promotional run ramping up throughout this year, the interest in Dragon Ball isn't going to vanish because of the TV series taking a break. By releasing the film in December and following up with the return of Super in January, you get to repeat how Super began in 2015, where you blow up interest with the new movie and then you ride that success into a new TV series, except this time it'll hopefully be planned a lot better so that the production doesn't totally crumble by episode 5. Like I keep mentioning over and over though, all of this speculation hinges entirely on this Kitaro project actually being an anime, which is why I didn't want to make a big deal out of this. It was an offhand comment on Twitter that blew up. It's just one of those things that doesn't make any sense but also makes so much sense at the same time. It's worth thinking about. We'll know for sure as soon as Toei releases information on what exactly this Kitaro project is, so hopefully we'll get something on that over the next 2 months or so. I guess I should probably apologize for being a bit irresponsible with my tweets in this case. I'm so used to just spouting thoughts into the void that it's easy to forget that quite a few people are actually paying attention now. I want to give a shout out to 4chan of all places, whose response when my tweets were posted on A was to simply say, who cares what some YouTuber has to say. That's basically the best attitude to take in cases like these. My speculation is no more valid than anyone else's, so again, please don't take this video as gospel. It's a guess based on a couple of factors. It could happen, it could not. Be responsible if you go and talk about this. But that's about all I have to say on the matter. This totally didn't deserve a video by itself, but I would rather people understand where the speculation originated from and get the full details instead of listening to some random regurgitate it without the full context. Let me know down below how likely you think this is to happen, whether you even want it to happen at all, and what you'd like to see this continuation of Super go. Do you want to go beyond the end of Z? Do you want more arcs? Let me know. As always, be sure to rate the video, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next time.